Okay, sometimes I get a comment that's got a lot of questions, and it makes sense to do it in just one long video instead of breaking it down. So, R. Smith 0106 asked me a bunch of questions about Fallout from Fastlane. So the first one, do you think Kevin Owens losing to Bill Goldberg was the right thing? We knew Bill was going to win because Bill is booked at that whole nother level. He's not A-double, he's like AAA. He is booked at one of the higher levels. He was effectively booked at the post Brock Lesnar ending the streak level, where it's, he's not taking a bump. He's just going to maul through people. The way that I would have worked the match differently. I liked Owens constantly leaving the ring. That was good. He did a lot of that in NXT. That's classic heel Owens. I would have had the bell ring before Owens started doing the get out of the ring stuff. I would have had Owens doing the get out of the ring, be like, ding, ding, roll out of the ring, walk around a little bit, have Bill do a little bit of a chase, get back in the ring, act like he's going to lock up, go to the ropes, go outside. I'd have him do that about a good, probably 2 or 3 times, just to pad the time of the match. And then, you can see Bill's getting anxious, and all of a sudden he goes, alright, fine, let's do this. Then Jericho's music hits. I would have had the bell happen probably about 2 minutes beforehand. Because that way then, when he gets to do it the next night on Raw, he can at least say, I lasted 2.5 minutes with Goldberg. That's a minute longer than Brock Lesnar. That shows you that I'm that much better than Brock Lesnar. Just that one little tidbit would have worked so well. As for losing, I have the hindsight if that were, we're a Monday away from it. And having him turn on Jericho, leading to those two having a fantastic match, great long-form storytelling. Did the loss help him? No. Did the loss hurt him? If anything, it got the belt off of him. And let's be honest, he was given the belt because Finn Balor got injured. And the third question is, and do you think they did him the same way they did CM Punk? Vince prefers it's going to be face booked. What that means is, good guy wins, good guy prevails, good guy's on top. If you look throughout the history of WWE, WWF, you almost always see there's a babyface who is on top. And they're normally a fairly dominant babyface. In the more pre-Attitude Era, post-Hulkamania era, they tried a lot of guys. After Hulk Hogan left, it was Lex Luger. You are the All-American boy. No. Shawn Michaels. You are the All-American boy. No. Bret Hart. You're the All-North American boy, I guess. But he was always face booked. The heel might get a victory, they might sneak one out, but he never really had a long period of a dominant heel. So he doesn't really know how to book that. And of course he books across a very wide range of ages, and he knows that how to keep the kids happy. Kids are happy when the good guy wins. How to keep adults happy. Adults who bring their kids are happy when the good guy wins, if that was the way they grew up watching. If you were a Hogan fan growing up, you enjoy watching the good guy win. If you're more a fan of the Attitude Era, you want the best character. You want the best actor to prevail. Doesn't matter if they're a good guy or a bad guy, you want the most compelling character to win. That's the person you want to see on top, because they're compelling. Vince has always been babyface. Which is why when the title is on a non-babyface, the title doesn't get pushed very highly. Except, of course, the women's division. Charlotte, booked as uber heel, booked ridiculously strong. She's the centerpiece of the division. But she loses on Raw all the time, so that way fans can go home happy. And in that aspect, yeah, they did treat Kevin Owens like CM Punk. When CM Punk has a historic title reign, he had a match with Daniel Bryan. It was not the main event on a pay-per-view. Main event, John Cena, John Laurinaitis. Think about that. Daniel Bryan fought CM Punk for the championship. And it was viewed as less important than John Cena, John Laurinaitis. I agree with Triple H, who said back in the day that the title should be the main event. It's the main event. It's the reason why you're there. It's why you lace up your boots, is to become champion. Unless, big unless, it is one of those amazing once-in-a-lifetime dream matches. Hogan Rock, that main event is WrestleMania. Rock Cena, you know what? That main event is WrestleMania. That does. Cena Laurinaitis does not main event a pay-per-view. Not a dream match. It's a garbage match. The throwaway match. But John Cena is the face, and he had to at least prevail. But Big Show attacks him. During the time of CM Punk's reign, ironically, even though he was the champion, he was relegated to being second because John Cena was number one. Kevin Owens was the champion. He was in more segments because he and Chris Jericho killed it every chance they were given. But Roman Reigns still considered more important. You can flip back to when AJ Lee was champion and she was facing Paige. It wasn't the main story because the Bellas were feuding. You know, it's a company that follows the money. Certain people produce a lot more money. Even though with Kevin Owens, when he first debuted and he beat John Cena, his t-shirts were selling better than John Cena's. And then he lost the next two times. The advantage they have of having him lose to Bill Goldberg is it actually allows him to refocus, tweak his character, drop the comedy, and go back to what we saw him in NXT when he was killing Sami Zayn and running away from matches, but at the same time making sure he still got that cheap shot in Alex Riley. I think long term, this loss is going to be a good thing. He got the belt, and they were like, okay, Balor's down. Who do we put on? HR went, Owens. Okay. What we can do from that point on? Just book it by week? And it's like, oh, Owens and Jericho are fantastic. Long story, Owens turns on Jericho. Jericho puts Owens over. Owens becomes mid-card champion. It's a great story. It's going to be an awesome match. Would have been unique to have seen Kevin Owens beat Bill Goldberg. Potentially. But then do you do Kevin Owens Lesnar? Would you do Kevin Owens Reigns at WrestleMania? Would you then do Kevin Owens Undertaker? I mean, there's more things for Owens to do without that title. Because Triple H handed it to him. They waited way too long to actually get that storyline going anywhere. And they just mishandled how they gave him like his whole title run. Same thing when Rollins won the title at WrestleMania. You know, he went from being calculating to, well, I can't do anything without help, as they do with Owens. Because that's how they make heels. Unless your name is Lesnar or Charlotte. So, yeah, they did a similar way to what they did with CM Punk. Because it's a Facebook company. Now, only flip side is, Vince McMahon likes Kevin Owens. Triple H loves Kevin Owens. When Triple H was given the ability to start harvesting talent for NXT, his list was short. There were guys that he wanted to work with. Ironically, if CM Punk, if there would have been like a slight time shift, if CM Punk would be coming to prominence 2 or 3 years ago. So we're looking at, if there'd be almost like a 10-year age shift with CM Punk, Triple H would be all over him for NXT. But he came in at a time where they were bringing in more indie stars, more actual great wrestlers with indie cred, and then feeding them to the people that they wanted to get over. So, to sum up, I think losing was right. It was inevitable. Bill said he's going to become a champion. Make Bill a champion. Whoever loses the belt to gets a super rub. Whoever beats that guy gets a super rub. So expect either Bill to beat Lesnar, the main event WrestleMania, and then lose to Reigns, or that he's going to lose to Lesnar and Lesnar loses to Reigns. I think either way that belt ended up on Reigns. I don't think they're going to pull a super nuclear option and be like, okay, so Lesnar, the Beast incarnate, versus the Demon King Finn Balor at SummerSlam for the Universal Championship. Balor gets back the belt he never lost. That's a brilliant story. I don't picture that being their long 4-man game. I can picture it probably being Reigns, and they can do Reigns Rollins, Reigns Balor, Rollins Balor. You can throw in Owens a little bit tangentially into that. So was it the right thing? Goldberg Lesnar doesn't need the title, but I think losing that belt helps Kevin in the long run because the belt was doing him no good. It just wasn't. Does it hurt his character? Well, we saw on Raw the next night, he came back to the older Kevin Owens. I do think if they work an alliance of Kevin Owens, Joe, and Triple H, that's a sick 3-man group. It's a sick 3-man group. Did they treat him the same way they did Punk? In front of the cameras, yes. You're the main champ, you're holding the big belt, but you're not the most important person on the show. It's Vince's handpicked savior. The only flip side is Owens is liked backstage. If he plays his cards right, he's got a nice career ahead of him.